For the first time in forever, the lobby actually started on time, and with that, welcome everybody to the 5th round of the DRC Championship, Season 15 today. We are in Shanghai, China. Quali just started, so we'll get our usual things up on the graph. Cherry also joined, so we will be up to 17 drivers, Cherry being the one grayed out and not present yet. I'm trying to look who's the first one on the lap. It looks like it's gonna be Retro once we cross the line. We see the casual little Aston Martin glitching in the background. The Haas of Retro gonna be the only Haas today. Alexander Leclerc not attending this race. But let's get qualifying underway. Navigating turn 1 and 2. A little bit of a glitching around. But that might also just be my internet this time. We have a big field yet again. Not as big as it was in Monaco. I think in Monaco we were 18 or 19. But still 17 drivers. And a championship hunt to look at. Multiple drivers obviously still being in the hunt for it. Not even being halfway through the season yet. Joe navigating the second sector. I'm fully really aware if this is my internet or not. Okay, let's check it with a different driver. Last week's driver of the day in Monaco, Gino for Williams. Even beating his teammate last time around. I think Cherry will have to start at the back, even though with her rejoin, I doubt she'll be able to take further part. So one of the two Swedish drivers we have on the grid already out of qualifying. Retro 135.8. And Juno 133.001. To really finish my little story about Swedes on the grid, there's the second one. Great performance last time around in Monaco until the very end. Speaking about qualifying though, and lap times being put on the board, RD Gamer. Part of Snooze's little misfortune last week. I think, if I remember right, both drivers got penalties for their incidents. RD looking to come back strong. Third place behind Juno. iHeart moves up to second place. Back on the grid this week, Salmon for Alpine. The team from Corny, obviously looking for a better result than last week. But, of course, already points on the board. Also, this thumpness streak staying strong. Proto seemingly doing 2 formation laps. Foxhound rejoined, but seems to be able to take further part in the session, which simply just keeps Cherry's streak of bad luck going. Not really able to catch a break yet this season. Salmon across the line, moves up to 8th. Strong lot, but ahead of Albert, Jibo, and Retrospect. But let's look at the Cadillac that impressed everybody last week until the end of the race. Goes to pits. Masquerader across the line, moves up to 8th. Only one without a lap yet. The Mercedes of King James. So I can really quick use this time to have a little bit of water, because it's really warm today here in China. I hope everything works, because looking at the stream replay that I have on my phone does look a bit glitchy, and I don't really know why it would. Everybody else has a decent enough a really quick look. No, it really seems to be a little bit of a connection problem from my side, which is also why Proto lagged a bit. I do apologize for this. I hope it'll fix itself eventually. Moving down the bit rate a bit to maybe get a better connection. Obviously, everybody here wants to give you guys the best possible experience of the racing that we're having here today. Quick gonna look if something is acting up that I have open. I got into the commentary booth relatively late, so I do apologize if there's a little bit of an issue. Let's hope this works. King James is still without a time, but that's because it's invalid. Going around the final corner. Kimirai, but in the meantime, while I was fixing stuff, moved up to 5th place. What can the Mercedes do? The first championship leader we had this season, obviously, King James being the winner of the Australian Grand Prix. Jibo gets out of the way. Now here's the recharge. There is a hair spinning. He's out of battery. Didn't save enough. Yeah. Already moves over. Let's look what Ref can do. Surprisingly, fastest car on the grid, yet not championship leader in his Aston Martin Honda. There's the flick. Snu having moved up to third, by the way. And Ref beats his own time. I heard. Last week, Red Bull. This week, Mercedes is the Mercedes reserve. By the overtake detection point. Gets closer. Yet by far not close enough. You know, it is gonna dive into the pit lane here. I'm still trying to fix the little connection problems that I'm having. Once again, I do apologize for these little mishaps. Keep me right on the back straight. Moves up to second. The first driver to go below a second behind Ref. What can Prototype do? On the stand with battery. Moves up to fourth. I don't know if the Alpines back there are trying to give each other slipstream. It's not essentially working. King James soon to cross the start-finish line. Slides a little bit around this corner, but you have to rotate the car. Now coming across the line, moves up to fifth place. Probably really happy to get a good lap in. Meanwhile, the McLarens... Wow, what a slipstream. Will also have helped the battery a lot. Oh, and then it's invalidated. Selman. Cross the line, 11th. In the meantime, Masquerader is only 10th. I do want to see the McLaren system. Now Proto across the line, stays in 4th. King James, meanwhile. Qualifying for Kimura and iHeart obviously already being done. Spooderman's also being done, so is Retro. King James needs a bit more time to be able to beat Prototype. Last corner for King James. What can the winner of Australia do? Stay 5th. Can Snoo still do anything? Maybe boost himself into the front row. Coming across the line. 2nd. Yes, he can. Ref also beats his time again in the back. The Williams RD in 6th. Juno stays in 8th. Masquerader across the line. Only 9th for the Ferrari. Jibo. Up to 11th. Strong lap from the Racing Bull. And this concludes qualifying. Ref, once again on pole. At this point, are we even surprised? Snoo, though, joins him on the front row. Kimura and iHeart, 3rd and 4th. Then Proto and RD, King James, Juno, Masquerader, Justin, Jibo, Salmon, Spooderman, Albert, Retrospect, Foxhound, and Cherry. And with that, I will leave you guys to process those results of qualifying. Grab yourself a drink, get some snacks, and we will be back when the race starts. And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, ready for the grid to enter the last sector. And for us to have some time to look over the tire struts. Meanwhile, there's a McLaren in second. That's not supposed to be there. Apparently, we are struggling yet again with the meanings of formation laps and to not overtake during that. Anyway, let's look at the tires real quick. Refin first on mediums, Snu on hards, Kimira on hards, iHeart and Proto on mediums, RD on hards, King James and Juno on mediums, 9th on hards, Masquerader, Justin on mediums, and all of the rest on hards, including Cherry. I was about to say, the order of how people are lined up are messed up anyway, so let's at least just look at Protohype's interesting parking skills. But now we wait for the last people, for Cherry to enter the grid, and then the camera will jump, and we will wait for the 5 red lights, and after they go on, they go off, and the Chinese Grand Prix is underway. Cherry jumpstart moves up to 12th, but will have to serve a drive-through penalty. Meanwhile, Snu and Kimira are already fighting for second place. In the back, there's a big hustle for the positions. Masquerade already sandwiched between 2 drivers. RD Gamer 6th, Juno up to 7th, but Masquerader is still there. There are a lot of people side by side. Meanwhile, we go down to turn 4. Jeeple jumping one of the Audis, the other one braking on the grass. Getting across sector 1 nearly smoothly, but then there's a collision. Selman and Retro. We've also seen a front wing being lost there. Jeeple against Cherry, there's a collision. Kimirai loses out. And there's still a big of a scrap. Kimirai in 5th, RD in 6th. Part of the same team's family last season. Rivals this one. Bit of smoke. The Williams being side by side. Got to sort themselves before Masquerader could get any chance to pounce. Cherry will have to say bye-bye for now into the pits. We'll now hope for a safety car. Meanwhile, King James down the inside of Masquerader. Beautiful move into turn 2. Kimira is in the wall! The Red Bull taking off half the barge boards and his front wing. That will result in a pit stop for the, I think, championship leader. That's horrible news for Red Bull Racing. Meanwhile, Salmon made it back out of the pits. iHeart, the Mercedes reserve, right behind Prototype. Is there anything possible? Doesn't look like it. There's another car wide in the grass in the last sector. It's Kimirai again. The Red Bull struggles big. big problems for Red Bull. And into the pits. Next yellow flag is in the last sector. I think it's Retro hitting the pit entry wall. And instantly retiring. Another horrific race for the Haas team. King James goes out of the slipstream of Juno, down the inside in the hairpin. Meanwhile, Retro's AI is still trying to figure out, I think, what it's doing. And Kimirai is just having a horrible Sunday afternoon. Justin tries it against Juno. In turn 4. Or 5. One of the two. Kimirai lost 13 spaces. Salmon lost 3. And the rest of the drivers mostly moved ahead. Yellow flag, Kimirai. That is the second retirement of the day. And that is, I think, the first race where no Red Bull will finish. Once again, as stated, horrific day for the championship leader. But now let's focus to the cars up front. iHeart against Prototype. iHeart deploying a bit more than Prototype round the outside in turn 1. Goes a little bit wide. Can now use it in the inside of turn 2. They're still side by side. Because Prototype, I think, has more battery now. They start saving essentially at the same time. Three-way battle. Prototype, iHeart, RD Gamer. Just 5 laps into the scrum period. Already lost 2 drivers. field seems to separate itself just slowly. Getting a nice little onboard view of iHeart's Mercedes. Question now, obviously, is can Ref this time hold it up front? And what can this group of technically 6 drivers do? From 3rd all the way down to 8th. Is iHeart going to deploy a bit more here again? Will still play quite interesting role here. What matters is that iHeart and Proto are on the same tire. The only one on the hard in this group is RD Gamer. It's not fully able to use the hards in the poke. A little bit of a group like we had in Australia. I'm starting to remember that Australia wasn't the season opener. I think Bahrain was. Prototype against iHeart. Down to turn 4. iHeart around the inside. This brings RD into play. iHeart for now being the car in front. RD senses his chance, especially with iHeart going wide. The 3 Mercedes powered cars. This whole battle is a Mercedes battle. King James now also gets involved. The 3-way battle becomes a 4-way battle. RD, Prototype, iHeart, all 3 wide. Down into the hairpin. And there's a collision! Prototype touches RD Gamer in the hairpin. 3 into 1 does not work. And now there's a big kerfuffle. The team coming out of this battle the best is Mercedes. The team coming out the worst, I would even say, is Williams. The 2 Mercedes being in front of this group now. And besides that, being a mashup between... There's a new collision, but the Mercedes collide! iHeart and King James collide, and now there's even more action in this group. I think a few wings flew. The one that doesn't help this is RD Gamer with his hard tires because he just loses time. Every point is important, obviously, but we're entering now the second third of the race. Well, we'll do that next lap, pretty much. And there's a little bit, there's nearly a collision onto the back straight. King James against Prototype. And there's the new collision! iHard collides with I didn't really see who that was, but iHard will now probably take his pit stop. So is Justin. Maybe Justin was the second car. Meanwhile, Prototype and King James are battling. Got rid of the first Mercedes, now the second one's approaching. With the rest pitting onto the hard tire. In all of this, RD is still there though. And there's a spin! King James nearly losing it onto the back straight. Great avoidance by RD Gamer. Meanwhile, Ref pulls the plug on his medium tires now. Question is if this is a one-stopper. If they're all pitting lap 10, lap 11, can they drag the hards along? Is one of them maybe going the two-stop? Tires everywhere. Spooderman moves up into 7th. Only driver with a penalty so far. Meanwhile, Cherry, after all the trouble she had so far this racing afternoon. No quali, drive-through penalty. Currently, at least, in 10th place. Oops, wrong button. Meanwhile, by the way, Snoo is getting lead laps in the Cadillac to reserve. Whee! If the tire's like that, good for you. Prototype against Spooderman. The Audi not wanting to give up. The other McLaren getting involved. iHard moves up to 12. Ref moves up to 3rd. Just Spooderman draining against Prototype. Justin around the outside of the Audi. Outside doesn't even need to become the inside. Moves by. King James now being the next one to get rid of his medium tires. But he stays ahead of Cherry. Kimirai left the session. But that is fine. Gonna focus up ahead, Ref against RD Gamer. He already passes before, even before the back straight already. Or not. Jibo left. Yes, Martin now being passed. Lost too much in the big group. Meanwhile, here we have two cars without a front wing, and one of them is a Mercedes. The other one is Junos Williams. I love graphic bugs in F1 2026. This is getting interesting. Spooderman is already getting rid of his hearts after 12 laps. Seemingly, the hearts don't last long either. Moves onto the medium tires. Gets a new wing. And still comes out of the pit ahead of Summon, who also pits. Cherry, Juno, and iHeart. Already wanting to do it before the straight. That only costs more time. Snoo also already pitting on his hard tires. Onto the mediums, but let's focus on iHeart getting by the Audi. I don't think these are going to be one-stops. I honestly doubt these are going to be one-stops. I doubt the people who pitted already won't have to pit again. Especially the ones who moved on to mediums. Oops. Against Juno. We're halfway through this race. The span from the outside perspective. You sadly have to do it on board. Well, you can watch from the outside, hopefully. King James passing Jibo. finally the chance? Doesn't look like it. So we go to the Ferrari, who's up in 4th, and who's having 2 feisty McLarens behind him. They're already losing the spot before the back straight. Wants it back. Don't make it 3 wide, Justin. You already saw what happens. Escalator down to 5th. Now the movie stuck. Both McLarens moving up to 4th and 5th. And now we have these two. These two, all the buddies, friends, pals, opponents. RD Gamer, after all my introduction, lets them by. I tried my hardest. Wasn't hard enough. Next battle, Gino against iHeart. Catching up Jibo. Maybe on the back straight. Yep. Jibo now getting compromised, and that is an easy play for Iron. Meanwhile, King James and Masquerader are battling. Let's look at that real quick. Ah, there's a collision. RD now moves onto the soft medium tires. Masquerader will probably do the same. And there's a new front wing for the Ferrari driver. Now, with the pit stops covered, I will go take my usual breather. So, you'll stick with the action, or just don't hear me for a lap or two. So, we'll see. I'll be back shortly. Alright, we're back with the battle between iHeart and Juno. Into turn 2, the Williams trying to defend his 7th place from the charging Mercedes. Now trying to get around the outside. Goes a little bit deep. Giving Juno the chance. Just stick it around the outside. Beautiful defense. The two drivers battling nearly the entirety of this race already. And now, there's the battery. iHeart has more charge than the Williams does. Is Juno able to defend? He still is. He's still in front. Late on the brakes, giving Juno the chance once again to try and defend. Well, the Audi is hunting the Racing Bull for the last point. Hardy Gamer passes King James. Very beautiful comeback drive so far. Now around the outside for the Audi driver. Cherry up into the points paying positions. As I said, beautiful comeback drive. G-Bull wanting to counter, wants his point back for the Racing Bull team. They need it, but so does Audi. in the constructors battle that they are in. Why is the live stream freezing? I don't know. My internet seems to be acting up a little bit again. I do apologize once again for it. I hope it is able to fix itself soon. Otherwise, what I can do is turn off Discord. Hopefully that fixes it. I do apologize once again for it. These two seemingly being the only battle in the field besides the two McLarens. About 5 to 6 laps remaining. For Jibo also to fight for this last point. Lap pressure tires. Fox on next penalty. Snoo also having a time penalty, but that is not really something that matters too much. Snoo takes another jump into the pits. That's interesting. Is he gonna lose out? He now starts driving again. On the soft tires, he loses out to the other three. Comes out just ahead of King James. This is interesting. Because those three are now all scrabbling together, and Snoo first needs to pass them. We're getting our battle. We are getting our battle in these final laps because now Snoo's trapped slightly. RD backs out. Prototype also not wanting to battle it. Does Justin want to fight? Against these soft tires, Snoo says, even if you do want to fight, I don't really care about it. RD attacks Prototype. Oh, there's a big lockup for Proto. It's these drivers' chances. Kimi right out of the race. Ref leading, but the points are here to be gained. Yellow flag sector 1. I think it's one of the Alpines. Well, Prototype against RD Gamer wants to make it a McLaren 3-4 yet again. He does. Snoo's now checking out. I think even with the time penalty. The question is, do these tires last? Alright, gamer. Not throwing it down the inside. So far, I think that's what I can say after nearly 25 laps. My driver of the day so far is Cherry. It's a beautiful race done. And a really great redemption drive if she manages to stay inside the points. Three laps remaining for these four drivers. They're missing a Williams and the McLaren and the Mercedes in this battle, but obviously there were some collisions and strategy involved in this. Snooze checking out. 5 seconds ahead of Justin. And RD late lunch. Compared to Monaco, that works here in Shanghai. Is Proto going to turn attack into defense against his own teammate? In the back, we see iHeart without the front wing. And here RD already in the inside. Is this RD's chance? Is Proto being forced to maybe attack Justin? Big lock up RD and they touch. They're still side by side. And Proto's getting locked by his teammate. Now this is RD's chance against Justin. I think RD is out of battery. RD used too much battery. Prototype able to attack Justin. Now King James moving by RD Gamer. The McLarens stick together and the Williams is in trouble. Proto yet again hard on his tires. It's gonna end like in Monaco and we have a huge last lap battle and the leader is not gonna be filmed crossing the line because RD is back again. Thirsty for more to overtake the McLarens. Proto goes wide. Internet seems to be stable enough. Proto yet again with that one little mistake. Justin now without protection. Going to the final lap. Oh, a little bit of a spike. Hopefully it works out. Not in the final lap. Oh, internet. Internet, you can be so cruel. King James up in 4th. Before those heroes go on to the start-finish straight and finish the race, let's look at the winner of this race. 30 2 seconds. Is he ahead? A dominant drive. Yet again. And Ref wins round 5 in China. Congratulations. Now we go back here. Prototype close back up to RD Gamer. There's a slide. Are those mediums maybe also slowly giving in? They all seem to be able to go by. Snoo gets a 10-second penalty in the last corner. This is a gift for everyone behind. Justin second, King James third, RD fourth, Proto fifth, iHeart sixth, and Snoo loses is so dominant. Second place in the final corner. He nudged the wall, no? Why would you even go wide? Masquerader. That's unnecessary as well. Moves to line 9th. That's expensive for the Ferrari team. Cherry, phenomenal drive to 10th. Jeeble, great drive in 11th. Spooter, not the most spectacular, but a clean drive for 12th place. And then we have Salmon, Albert, and Foxhound a lap down. 13th, 14th, and 15th. What an end to this race. A little bit of silliness, a little bit of unnecessariness. And a podium we didn't see coming for 28 laps. Ref wins Justin second. And King James up in third. Seemingly my internet decided to not work in the last 2 laps. I do apologize for that. Final result. Ref wins. Justin second, King James third, RD fourth, Proto fifth, iHeart sixth. Snoo, probably with the most unnecessary penalty of the season, 7th. Juno 8th, Masquerader 9th, Cherry, phenomenal comeback drive into the points, 10th, Jeeble 11th, Spooter 12th, Salmon, Albert, Foxhound, and we lost Kimi Rai and Retro. I hope, even though with my little complications, you guys had a phenomenal afternoon.